Now, if I do my calculation correctly, what's up guys, welcome to this video. If you are still in a solo operation and if you're looking to scale your digital marketing agency, then you've come to the right place, because I have jam-packed so much into this one video. There's so much value, so wait and see. Before we get cranking guys, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. It helps me help more people like you. You can take it from me guys, I built my entire agency to healthy 5-figure months, and that's been purely through virtual assistants and team building and stuff that I'm going to cover in this video. And we have helped countless other digital marketers to do this as well, and scale the right people in the right team for them as well to get to greater heights of success. Okay, so as business owners and entrepreneurs, which I'm assuming you are if you've landed on this video, you're gonna know that there's so much to do, and it's like the to-do list just never goes away, and I'm telling you now, it doesn't go away. Sometimes it can feel like there's more work to do than actually what needs to get done. So when it comes to scaling sustainably and reaching that next level of your business, there is a key part to this. And the key part, it starts with outsourcing and an actual proper delegation. I've seen so many people go through and get better at delegating and outsourcing, and they've freed themselves up from the day-to-day operations. So they can actually spend more time on the things that matter in their business, the revenue creating tasks, the things they like to do, the things they love to do, not the repetitive day-to-day things. I also want to cover here, just real quick, outsourcing, it's kind of tarred with a bad brush. It used to kind of have this like real dirty feel to it. It's not a dirty word guys, outsourcing. If anything, this is the way of new business, and you're seeing it time and time again. Especially look at the bigger businesses, Nike, Google, Apple, they're all on the outsourcing bandwagon. That's how they got so big. It is the future of clever business to be outsourcing the things that aren't conducive to the growth of your business or the profit of your business, or the things that aren't in your genius zone. I mean, if you think about it guys, we are already out, well some of us, I know I certainly am, I'm outsourcing my accounting, okay, because I'm not an accountant. I outsource that to an accountant. You know, if we've got stuff that needs to be done around the house and perhaps we don't have time, or we're not a handyman, or we're not a roofer but we need new roofing, then we outsource that to a roofer. We're not going and doing all this stuff ourselves. In a way, we're outsourcing our health to a doctor. We go to see a doctor to get advice and get stuff prescribed if we need it, or a naturopath, whatever it is. So we are actually outsourcing all the time in our day-to-day lives. But what a lot of us miss is we're not actually outsourcing the parts in our business that we should be outsourcing. So now if you're a startup, or if you're a bit strapped for cash and you don't have a big budget allocation, then there are sustainable ways that you guys can start to delegate and outsource and grow. Investing in an in-house team probably isn't going to be ideal, especially if you're in the startup stage, like maybe the first year, 2 years, or even 3 years of your business. In-house employees are going to cost a lot more than hiring abroad, okay, which is kind of what I'm specializing in. I'm specializing in skilled virtual co-worker services. So around a third of companies are outsourcing part of their sales, their operations, or their marketing. So it's not a new concept, but it is one that can go amazingly well, or you can find yourself in a bit of a bad situation and up shit creek if it hasn't been executed properly. So the first thing I want to cover here, point one, is cost effectiveness. Hiring abroad and hiring even skilled remote workers such as SEO specialists, web developers, web designers, pretty much any role, position, skill you can think of, you can find somewhere online. There is a position for that. There is somebody that obtains that skill, and you can actually look to hire them. Now this can go really, really well and be super cost effective for you, like I've already mentioned, and it can multiply production, or it can go the other way and multiply problems. And that really comes down to your ability to lead and manage a team and the quality of people that you hire. So if we're going to do a comparison here guys on what does it look like paying someone in-house and what does it look like paying someone abroad, let me just crunch some numbers here for you. So if we've got a web developer or an SEO specialist, for example, let's look at someone, a full-time in-house employee. Let's say their cost $40 an hour. and they're working 40 hours a week. So 40 times 40, that's $6,400 a month to pay for that employee. Now, if you're looking at part-time employee in-house, that's 20 hours. Let's say if we times that by the $40 per hour, we're looking at $3,200 per month. And on top of that, just consider that you have to pay fringe benefits, pay days off, superannuation, depending on where you are in the world, and all that other stuff to consider as the actual employees. Now, let's do a comparison with a full-time virtual assistant or a skilled remote worker abroad. Let's just say we might be going for a web developer or an SEO specialist in this case. With mid-range experience, so if we're going for someone mid-range, let's just say $10 an hour. Someone who's maybe only got a year or 2 or 3 years experience, you're going to get them at a cheaper rate. But please keep in mind, when you're getting those people at a cheaper rate, there is a lot of slack that you're having to pick up there and more management. Got someone that's already skilled and has that years of experience under their belt, the training is not going to be as intense. So we have SEO specialists, let's say $10 an hour for 40 hours a week, so that's 160 hours a month. That's going to cost $1,600 for the month. If they're part-time, and doing 20 hours, that's going to be $800 a month. Now, if I do my calculation correctly, so that's 6,400 minus 1,600. That's a $4,800 difference. Quite a disparity there. I hope by crunching those numbers, you've got some figures going on in your head, and it's, ticking over a few things and got you thinking. Obviously, I've just gone through and I've mentioned those other extra things you have to pay for in-house employees. I think it's worth mentioning as well, when you're hiring someone abroad, so not only are you saving on the salary, but you're not actually having to pay for a lot of the operation costs, like an office, for example. There's no office space, there's no computer and phones and cars and stuff like that. It's literally like, because a lot of these people just work from home, they've got their own home office space. So that's a pretty huge saving there, at least a few $100s a month. Okay, so that's point one. I think you guys get the point. This is a very cost-effective solution, and I'm going to take you over to the next point. Number 2, what role to outsource first as a digital marketing agency? So if you want to build your all-star digital marketing team, it's going to be as easy as posting an ad, going out and finding that all-star player who has this amazing skill set and can project manage and do the operations and handle everything for you. And all you got to do is convince them that you're the company for them. You bring them on, you onboard, and Bob's your uncle. Sweet, you got them on board. It's that easy. That would be a dream. It's not realistic to think that way. That is not an ideal situation, in short. And if it were that simple, every digital marketer, every agency would be flourishing with a dream team, doing very, very well for themselves. Handling humans is hard. We've got ourselves to handle, and then we've got other humans to handle, okay, if we're looking to build our team. But don't worry, because I'm going to be covering all that stuff in here as well and giving you guys some pointers. So don't freak out, don't overwhelm. Okay, so who do you hire first? First off, if you're in the startup stage again, so if you're 1 to 3 year marks in your business, you can probably hire someone who's a bit of a jack of all trades, so that they can do quite a few things, but perhaps then they're not a master of any of those things. Now, you can get away with this in the beginning, and it's certainly going to help your business, but it's not really sustainable long term. You'll find that your business will likely outgrow their expertise, and you'll end up needing someone with a higher skill level. There is a term called a full stack marketer. What is this? This is somebody with a really in-depth experience with all digital marketing stuff, and they are brought in to essentially handle the marketing magic. These guys are also a rarity. It's not very common to come across this full stack marketer as such. This is really going to be someone who loves to roll up their sleeves. This is their passion. This is what they live for. And they're going to be doing a few things like digital advertising, so PPC, social media, public relations, SEO, email marketing, marketing automations and streamlining, perhaps some design and infographics and stuff like that as well. And on top of all of that, they're going to have a knack for analytics and insights and actually testing what's working, so beta testing. Now, it is possible to find somebody abroad to be able to fulfill this for you. But keep in mind, you're going to be paying a much higher hourly rate for somebody who is a full stack marketer. I mentioned it's a bit of a rarity. A lot of you might not be at that stage yet. So think about, what are the products and the services that you have right now? Like, what are really, really popular services that you have? Are you getting lots of web design requests? Look at your tickets. Are you getting lots of SEO jobs in? If that's the case, then look at an SEO specialist or web design specialist and think about, okay, what can I be outsourcing and delegating as part of my day-to-day operation? If you're predominant, like 80% 80% is just SEO, then get an SEO specialist on board, train them with your procedure and your process, and get them to do that fulfillment there. That's saving hours and hours of your time, and it's costing you $10 an hour, if that, maybe $1,600 a month. And on top of that, you've maybe got an extra 20 or 30 hours a month. You can be going out and prospecting, jumping on sales calls, collaborating, and looking for some partnership. So that covers point number 2 on what to delegate and outsource first in your agency. Just on that note as well, I want to quickly jump in and say, if you don't have a bookkeeper yet, get a bookkeeper, okay? It's one of the first things that I outsource. I always recommend to outsource your accounting and your bookkeeping ASAP. So if you're still there on the weekend, spending 8 hours a day chasing up invoices, stop right now. That's not okay. You shouldn't be doing that, okay? Get onto that ASAP. Guys, if you're struggling to fathom and really put into words, what should I be outsourcing and delegating first? I am gonna leave my awesome cheat sheet, my delegation cheat sheet below. This has helped hundreds and hundreds of entrepreneurs. So that's gonna give you a little bit more insight and clarity as to what you can outsource first. And it's really actually quite good for creating SOPs if that's your thing as well. So now you guys know how to outsource all your digital marketing efforts sustainably without it costing an arm and a leg. Now I wanted to give you an invitation to my private community as well. It is free. You're more than welcome to come in there. This is where I drop all the insider hacks, the HR stuff, the recruitment stuff. So jump in there. I'll leave a link below to that. If you did like this video, give me a thumbs up, a like, and subscribe as well. That will really help me out, and looking forward to seeing you guys on the next one.